and welcome to the Narrowboat experience. I'm Kath.
I'm Anna Marie, and today is all about our Refleks diesel heater.
On today's episode, we're going to take you through the process that we went through to install our Refleks diesel heater.
We've captured the whole process for you in case you are interested in installing your own diesel heater on a narrowboat.
There are other brands of heater available, and we looked at many. We'll talk about that with you more in a future vlog, where we also discuss the costs of running the heater compared with a multi-fuel stove. So make sure you're subscribed now so that you don't miss that.
The whole process of installing the Refleks diesel heater was meant to take a day. Spoiler alert, it took a little bit longer than a day. Before Paul from Lockgate arrived, we emptied out the kitchen cupboard's port side, heavily supervised and judged by Munchie and Alice. We took out a light fitting to have access to inspect the roof cavity, to check where our wiring was, and make sure our new chimney wouldn't touch any electrics.
Are you filming? Yeah. Okay.
Once Paul arrived, he installed a separate day tank to one of our spare storage lockers on the stern.
So while I was thinking about what I mentioned, the funnel, I don't want to bring it too close. If you've got a round funnel,
Yeah.
it's going to catch on this. It's going to be a bit just off skin. So pop that in there.
All the final decisions about pipe work were made on site. Paul quickly got to welding and sanding, much to Alice and Munchie's, I want to say delight, but it really wasn't delight. The pipe leaves the day tank and goes through the deck into the engine bay. Then there's a fuel filter, and the copper pipe continues into the cabin. The copper pipe that will carry the diesel from the day tank to the heater was lowered into the boat, and we smugly checked our template against the real heater.
Pretty much.
How is it?
I'm off a little bit.
The copper pipe was fed from behind the hearth, along behind the back of the kitchen cupboards, to the entryway cupboard. All with the perfect gradient needed to assist with adequate gravity feeding. Yes, this heater uses no electricity.
Oh, I don't like it. Send it back.
Sorry?
You sure we ordered chrome?
No, don't.
The heater was roughly positioned in place. Here you see the copper pipe protruding from the engine bay, as well as the copper pipe from the heater. You'll notice we used insulation as a protection against the hot water pipes heating the diesel pipe. Next, the flue was measured so that an accurate hole could be made in our metal roof. A pilot hole for the chimney hole was made, and as light began to fade, the chimney hole got cut. I went and sat with the cats because we were worried about the noise of the metal cutter on the roof. We needn't have worried, they were fine, but enjoyed the attention. Next, our gorgeous tiles were drilled through to create the stop-tap connection. I think it looks pretty neat.
So we got some new tools.
And look, but I can do this. Why can I do that? Because it's not finished. We sent the young man home. Even though the installation was meant to take a day, a muddy towpath, starting late, and Paul being a perfectionist, we're not complaining about that, meant we had to finally call it quits. Next day, Paul put the insulation around the flue, drilled the holes to secure the heater to the hearth. Doesn't look that easy to drill through porcelain, does it? One last positioning, and our new Refleks diesel heater was ready for her permanent place. Paul did a quick hoover, but refused to do the whole boat. Drats.
How would you like it? Do you want it facing the stove but it doesn't expose this part? Or would you like it more central?
Yeah, whichever's the safest.
This way?
Yeah. The flue was fitted, and a grate is placed on the outside of the flue because it is a single flue and the grate provides extra protection from burns. So Paul has just gone outside to check all the connections in the engine bay because they were finished off at dusk yesterday, and then we're going to test the fire and see if it works, and more importantly, make sure there's no leaks. We adjust the flow of diesel. As you can see, our gravity feed from the stern works very, very well.
Flow that. So we know we've got fuel up to the filter area, so we're just press and hold in, overriding on that red button. Okay. That fills up the regulator up to its level. With the grey knob open, that'll start dripping out into the copper pipe that feeds a burner pot. This part, disc on top, just in the centre, it stays like that. Okay. You don't need to take it out to light it, because we're like with meths. When you pour meths in, it'll always find its way to the bottom anyway. Okay. With new burner pots, it's usually best to put a bit of fire lighter in the bottom of it.
So you've put that underneath where that...
Yeah, so underneath the cage. It's basically on the base of the floor there. I'll pull that. Like I say, you won't need to do that just because it's new.
Okay. I wish I'd have kept those yieldy shot glasses of.
What I used was for surf washing liquid. You put your surf liquid in for when you're washing clothes.
Yeah.
Those little caps.
Yeah.
Brilliant they are, because it's got 35 and I think 52 on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's in there. I will say never light a hot burner pot.
Yep. Read
You
that
come to the
everywhere.
stove and it's obviously cold now. You've got about half a second before it starts getting a bit lively inside, which is plenty of time just to drop a lid. I'll show you. So 50ml lid. And that'll start going.
So at the moment it's burning meth.
So just meths in it. There is a little bit of diesel in this, so I might overfuel it on this startup. There is a little bit of diesel in there where I've checked it come through okay.
But we haven't.
But the
diesel
diesel's
on yet.
off. That's correct. The diesel's off. You haven't pressed your red button yet. It's just your meths you're burning. So we'll let that go. First 30 seconds or so it goes quite high.
Okay.
Then it dies off quite low.
Yeah.
You can usually still hear it, like flickering, like the flame pattern flickering about inside. This usually condensates up, which it's doing.
Yeah.
After about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, this condensation goes, and inside the mesh will look like it's glowing red. You have all the blue plumes onto it. And about after 3 minutes of dropping your match in, then you turn your fuel on. Yeah, you pour your meths in. The meths will probably burn for about 6-7 minutes anyway.
So there's still a bit of meth when the diesel's in there.
Yeah, so you're preheating the burner pot. When you turn your fuel on, the diesel comes in into that hot environment. It's just a quick way of starting it. Takes a little bit longer, but that's the better way to start that other stove.
Would you say this is their best model so far?
This is the most popular one, yeah. This is the one we sell most of. Boat builders are fans. So that's 3 minutes. We're going to turn the fuel on to low.
So how do you do that?
Just literally grey knob, turn it around, you'll feel it go up a ramp. Torch. So grey knob, that's on, off now, so you'll feel it, a bit of resistance, and then it'll click onto the ramp. That's on low there. Or press the red button, slowly release it. What that does is now this probe's hot, and the pin inside will recognise it. So when you push that down, the pin inside will stay down because it recognises it's hot. The red part will come back up, but the pin inside will stay down until that goes cold again. So if it blew out, it will go cold and stop the fuel.
Oh, okay, so that you don't flood the pot.
Yeah.
Right.
So it cuts off sooner. The regulator's actually set at a level, I think it's 10-12 mil above the level of the fuel in the regulator. Will gravity feed into the burner pot, but it only gravity feed up to so much because of the way it's set like that. So anyway,
Okay.
but this cuts it off sooner.
So here she is. This is Mabel. We've had her installed now for a few weeks and we are loving the heat that comes off her. We're all very much happy with the product that we've chosen. If you have any comments or questions about the install process, then please do drop them in the comments below.
If you want us to go through the actual costs for how much the diesel fire cost and how much the installation, things like that was, you can literally just look that up online, a diesel fireplace. We got it from Lockgate. And also you can look up how much diesel costs online. However, if you want us to go through a point-by-point breakdown of our consumption use compared to what the brochure says, we're more than happy to go through that with you. We've kept extensive notes, so if you give this video a like, then we will know that you want the cost breakdown and we'll put that together. It's quite a lot of information, so we want to make sure that you actually really want to see it. So give it a like if you do really want to see it.
And thanks again for watching and we'll see you again next time.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.